do a dance or some shit. So we're gonna get straight to it. I have met Hollywood actors, Idris Elba. I've met Donald Trump Jr., the son of the president. I've met basically every big person in politics on the right on Twitter. I've met here in Romania absolutely everybody who's anybody, actors, singers, etc., etc. And I've done this very, very deliberately. And it's one of those things, very similar to, let's say, girls, where once you get started, once you begin the process, it becomes easier. Once you start, and you start getting a few girls, you end up with lots and lots of girls. Once you start meeting important and influential people, you'll meet lots and lots of important and influential people. But there are lots of mistakes that most people make when it comes to networking themselves to the top. And that's what this course is going to be about. It's going to be a long list of mistakes not to make, and it's also going to explain the psychology of networking. What most people don't understand is as follows. There's huge psychology involved in networking, and there's three elements. The first element is, you don't know who I know. So if you go to meet somebody, let's say you're at an event and you meet someone, and that person happens to know the president, unless they're obviously overtly in the White House, unless they're overtly a member of the White House staff, or they're a loudmouth, you may have no idea they know the president. If I didn't advertise the fact just now, or put the picture on Instagram, nobody would have a clue that Donald Trump Jr. and I speak to each other. No one would have a clue. So firstly, a lot of people don't overtly advertise who they know. Secondly, most people, when they do get a connection of influence that's important, they don't want to give that away. So most people don't want to give that away for a variety of reasons. One, because they're afraid of getting sidetracked or cut out. And two, because people are petty and jealous. That's how people are. So if I have a very important connection, and I know that introducing you to that connection is going to improve your life, what's my motivation to do that? Why would I want to do that? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, if I do that, and it works out particularly well, and you two become best buddies, then I've just been cut out the picture perhaps. And that important person has one more friend, he's doing business with you, I'm not getting anything, so what's the advantage to it? So you have to understand that people are very secretive about who they know, and even if they do tell you who they know, they're very guarding of it. And thirdly, and this is the largest reason, is it's impossible to refer someone without also referring your reputation. So if I were to go to someone who I know is important and say, this guy can do this, and I refer you, and you fuck up, that impacts me. Even if I say, I don't know the guy that well, but I've heard he's okay. Even if I try and disassociate myself, if you do a shit job, that impacts me. So when people are referring you and you're trying to network, what's really happening is people are recommending you, but they're putting their trust on the line to recommend you. So once again, they need a motivator to do that. The whole networking scene is down to motivators. And what most people make the mistake of doing is they run around trying to talk to everybody without motivating anybody ever to refer them. And that's the biggest mistake. So we have two ways we can look at this. Everybody you meet, it doesn't matter if you meet the president or you meet somebody at the bottom of the chain, you need to do the same things with. So if you're very lucky and you walk into the room and you see the president there, that's fantastic. But most likely you're going to see somebody far less important, and if you do a very good job, you can network your way to the top. When I met Idris and I was put on that TV show, I didn't meet him first. I knew a lot of people who knew a lot of people, and I ended up there. So it's going to be very unlikely you're going to meet the person you want to meet straight away. But assuming that's the case, there's a few very basic rules, and these are super basic. And these are things I shouldn't have to say. Introduce yourself, be confident, body language is all explained in the body language course. Be sure of yourself, don't be arrogant. And third, and one of the most important things, important people, especially super important people, they're not really that interested in you. You have to understand that it's a very fine balance. People think, I'm going to meet this guy, I need to prove to this guy I'm worth something. But also, you don't want to sit there and tell the president about what you do for a job. He doesn't give a shit. He's the president. Compared to him, you're nobody. So you have to really understand the balance of asking them questions while also validating yourself. So instead of saying, if I were to meet an important person, and let's say that important person was in banking, for example. If I sit there and go, I'm a millionaire, I did this, I did that, and I made money, and da-da-da-da, he ain't gonna give a fuck. The dude could be getting £1 million a week, as far as I know. So instead I'd say, yeah, I'm actually looking for a banking solution. When I'm trying to move large sums of money, I'm struggling to get it done. What is the best banking solution? What would you recommend for someone living in Europe? So what I've done there is validate me as a person. I've explained that I make large sums of money, but I've also stroked his ego by asking him a question and engaging him in the conversation. That is completely different from me sitting there and talking shit, and it's completely different from only asking him questions. So you have to find a way to validate yourself while also engaging him and asking questions and stroking his ego. Important people are arrogant. You're never going to meet an important person who's not arrogant. All of them are. So stroking their ego is always a good idea. Not in a pathetic way, because they're not going to respect you, but just respecting their position and their intelligence and their knowledge and asking for some of it. That's it. There's a whole bunch of shit these people know that you don't know. That's the whole reason you want to network with them in the first place. So that's an important point. Next, and this is very key, and this could be a whole section on itself, but we'll start now. Networking is expensive. The key to networking is having money, and I say this all the time. If you meet someone who's more important than you, you're paying for everything. It doesn't matter how expensive the drinks are, how expensive the dinner is, you need to pay for it. You need to absolutely insist. No, please, no, it was a pleasure to meet you, it's on me, it's on me. They don't give a fuck about money, but it just proves a point. It allows you to have some kind of dominance and hold your own as a man. If you go to dinner with a really important person, and that person pays for the dinner, do you think that same person is going to trust you with thousands and thousands of dollars when you're sitting there taking a free dinner with a little dork? No. So you have to pay for the dinner. That's the first thing. You got to look good when you turn up. You got to turn up in these very expensive places like you've been there 1,000 times before. You cannot be impressed by anything. You can't be like, oh wow, this food's great. Oh, this wine. Oh yeah, this is a really nice restaurant. It's just a fucking restaurant. It doesn't matter if you end up on a private jet for the first time in your life, you don't say a word. You're completely unimpressed. Like you've done it 1,000 times. These are the basic things. If you're gonna sit there going, wow, 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 then he's gonna show that you're much lower down than him. People at the top, they don't really want to do business or network with people below them. Why would they? They want to do business with people on the same level of them, as them. Or people maybe slightly below, but they have a good motivator to elevate you as an individual. If you're making it super clear you've never lived this kind of lifestyle, then you're gonna struggle. So you're not impressed by anything. You're paying for everything when you're around someone more important than you. When Idris and I were in Thailand training for his fight, every time we go out, I pay. I was like, oh, it wouldn't be offering. Just the bill would come, I'd just put the money down and we'd walk off. Now, Idris had more money than me. But I just whatever. It's a point of dominance. It's a point of, yeah, you're the Hollywood actor, but you're not the only motherfucker around here who has some money. And at the time, I didn't even have that much money. But I'm not a little bitch. I'm not gonna let him pay for me. Because he's the more important one than I am, so that's a very important thing. Secondly, when it comes to money, it's super important because networking is about chances. It is super rare that someone's gonna say to you, come here at this time and you're guaranteed to meet X. That's not how networking works. Networking is about taking a chance, and taking chances is expensive. When I met Donald Trump Jr., he said, if you're around on these dates, I might be free for half an hour. And I was in Romania. How many people fly from Romania to New York, 3,000 miles, and sit there for a week for a maybe on 30 minutes? Most people go, I can't do that. Or they'll say, can we guarantee, what about this? And they pressure the dude. And then the dude's gonna say, well, I can't guarantee, I've got a very busy schedule. How can I guarantee you anything? I'm the son of the president, I've got a super busy schedule, I've never met you, I don't know you. Meeting you is really not gonna benefit me that much. I don't give a fuck about you, I'm not gonna guarantee you a thing. If I tried to pressure him and said, okay, what about this day, this time, this day, this time, to try and get my guarantee, he would have bailed. So instead I said, yeah, okay, I'm around. And I flew there, and I spent X amount of thousands of dollars, and it paid off. There's been times I've done similar things for other important people, and it hasn't paid off. But this is the reality of networking. Networking is never gonna be guaranteed. So because it's not guaranteed, you have to have the ability to take your chances, and that is expensive. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and pretend that networking is cheap. It's absolutely not cheap. You have to be prepared to go somewhere at a whim, turn up, and see if that person has time. And maybe they don't. But you have to be there, right place, right time. And being in the right place at the right time is certainly expensive too. So that's the monetary element. Now we're talking about motivations. And like all my courses, this is lots of information, just like the PhD course. There's lots of information coming at you. I don't care how many times you have to watch this. I don't care if it's take notes, break it down, whatever. I don't sit and do little chapters. I speak what comes from my mind through experience. That's why it's so fucking golden. So you just have to pay attention. Motivators. There's only two, in fact, three genuine motivators that are gonna allow someone to refer you. Because that's all networking is, it's referrals. If you meet someone for the first time, we just explained, you have to pay for it, you have to introduce yourself, don't waste the person's time, make sure you stroke their ego with your questions, validate yourself while also allowing them to validate themselves so they're happy being the dominant person, being Mr. Important. Those are the key things. Most networking is gonna come from referrals. Someone is gonna recommend you. So look at me here, you know who I am. I have access to the president's son. Why do I not recommend you to the president's son? Well, the reason for that is, one, because I'm putting my reputation on the line. And two, the other three motivators have not been fulfilled. So there's three motivators. I'm only gonna recommend you to somebody else, the president's son or anyone, for A, money, B, because I really like you, or C, because it raises my status. So these are the only three motivators that are gonna take someone and make them put conscious effort into taking one of their relationships and sharing it with you. So we'll talk about the first one, money. It's very easy to go through the world and think, I've got the people and I promise them they'll make lots of money and everyone's gonna network with me because I've got this great business, da 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 da. It's all bullshit because one, your great business is not nearly as great as you think it is. Two, telling people about your great business, most people don't give a shit and most people aren't gonna believe in you. I mean, the thing is about businesses, none of them are really that sexy. Starbucks is a coffee shop. If you were to walk around and say, I'm gonna start this coffee shop, people would be like, oh, whatever. Now it's successful. It's a successful business. But before it started, if you were walking around trying to pitch it to people, try to network, and we're gonna have this coffee shop, we're gonna sell carrot cake, no one's gonna give a fuck. No one's gonna be interested. So business ideas are really not that sexy to talk about. Even though you think they are, they're not. And the ones that are usually complicated and different, and you gotta have someone's attention, and they have to trust you and know who you are as a person to really take you seriously. So money is quite a difficult one, because if you think you're gonna go and email me now and say, Tate, I have an idea. If you introduce me to the president and he buys it, and I'll give you 25%, I'm not gonna recommend it. So money is actually one of the things that probably becomes later on. People have to trust you first, they have to know you first, they have to like you first, and then you can add in a monetary motivation. If I've done business with you for 4 or 5 years and I know you very well and I know you're competent, I know you don't make mistakes, you don't fuck up, I know I can trust you, I know that I recommend you, you're not gonna embarrass me, and then you say, look, do you know any people who could achieve X, Y, and Z, because that would allow me to make X amount of money and you're gonna get a percent of it, then you can motivate me with money. So that's the monetary motivation. Next is because I really like you. This can happen. You can be liked by important people, and if you're liked by important people, you're gonna be invited places by important people, and you'll be introduced to other important people. Being liked is a skill within itself. I've just basically explained to you how to be liked by important people. It is as simple as that. You validate yourself while allowing them to talk about themselves. Because important people love themselves. Because important people have spent a lot of time and energy and effort in building themselves. Unless you're born important, which a few are, morons. In general, important people have put in a lot of work to becoming themselves. And even if they haven't put in a lot of work, they think they have. Look at fucking Pitbull, the worst singer in the world. A loser, basically. But if you were to ask him how he got there, how did you become a famous recording artist? Do you think he'd say luck, or would he say, I just really worked at it? People believe they work hard. Everyone likes to believe that their success is down to work and nothing to do with luck. So everyone who's important believes they're a hard worker. So with this in mind, they're egotistical. So you have to stroke that ego, because they've spent a long time building themselves up. But you have to do it in a way that you don't embarrass yourself. This is nuance. I can't teach you this. This is something that's going to take some skill. Get the body language course, it's going to help with, it's going to certainly help you. But secondly, it's going to take some skill. I gave you one example earlier. Validate yourself while also asking them questions. Make sure you look like you're paying attention. Try and be a little bit witty, a little bit funny. And just validate yourself and use your own personality. I can't give you my personality. When I met important people, the conversations were always free-flowing. They always went well. I always validated myself while allowing them to talk and allowing them to basically stroke their own ego because they love themselves. And there's nothing wrong with them loving themselves. There's nothing wrong with it at all. 2 examples. We'll use me as an example. I'm not even that important. If you were to email me and say, Tate, teach me how to punch. I'll give you, and now I'm going to fight and I'll give you a percent. I'm trying to motivate me with money. It's bullshit. If you were to message me and say, Tate, I've watched your videos and I genuinely believe you're the best striker there's ever been. But then you have to validate yourself. You have to say, I've been training for 10 or 12 years and I really enjoy it, but there's some things you do that I can't quite do. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. That, 1, validates you, 2, strokes my ego, and you're far more likely to get a reply than if you just emailed me, teach me how to punch, or teach me how to punch for money. Because it's making me like you. This is an important thing. And thirdly is status. If in certain situations, especially if you're a cool enough dude, as I am, people who may have high-level connections will feel more comfortable or feel like it's going to raise their status if they introduce you to their connections. And this is going to happen as you elevate. This is not going to happen at the bottom. But as you elevate, this is going to happen. So with me, for example, now, because I've got some money, because I've got some nice cars, because I'm always with hot girls, there's people who think, this guy's in town, and I'm going to go meet him at the club. You know what, I'm going to bring Tate. Because if I bring Tate, I roll up in a Lambo, and there's going to be 10 chicks with us. So he's using me to raise his status and just going on his own. And that's fine, because I'm using him to meet the dude. So if you start becoming important yourself, you're going to have people who use you to raise their status, and that happens. So those are the 3 motivators: status, money, and because people like you. Now you're only going to be able to pull off any of these 3, either status, people liking you, or even money, if you have genuine relationships with people. The idea of walking through a business conference with your business card. Hi, here's my card. I do accounting. I'm an accountant. I'm the best accountant. I'm a really good accountant. I guarantee I'll save you money. Yeah, here's an accountant. Hi, I'm a really good accountant. Yeah, you might get some. It's basically cold calling. You might get some calls. I'm not saying it's a completely terrible idea. It's better than doing nothing. But that's not nearly as effective as building a genuine relationship with somebody. You already know this. You know that if you were to go around that conference, take a little bit more time with each individual person, make them like you, make them remember you, that's the key to it. And once you have that connection, then you have to nurture it. Look at email marketing. Email marketing does this perfectly. You sign up to an email list, they try and sell you something, you ignore it. Another email, they try and sell you something, you ignore it. If they keep trying to sell you things every day, you unsubscribe. If they tell you things of value, a long email, a story, something to make you laugh, something funny, etc., 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 going on and on, and then eventually try and sell you something again, you might buy it. That's nurturing a relationship, and it's exactly the same with networking. So if I have some very important friends, and I'll message them now and again. These are not, I say friends, that's the wrong word. I know some important people, and I may not speak to them for 2 or 3 months at a time. But I will consciously, I have a list of people I know who are important, a list of people I know who are high value, and I'll consciously contact them with things I believe might be relevant. So I'll give you, I'm not going to, like we said earlier in the course, most people don't give away everyone I know. I've only told you about people I have pictures with. There's a whole bunch of other people I know who I'm not going to tell you about. But let me give you an example. Let's say I know somebody who's a multimillionaire in England, and they do business in Europe. So I will literally each month go through my list of people who I know are high value and I want to stay in touch with, and I'll see that person and I'll Google up something about Brexit exports, and I'll email them the link and say, hey, you might find this interesting, don't know if this affects you, I'll be back in the country in a few weeks, but we should catch up then. So I provided value. It's not just me trying to get something from him, not just, hey, can we have a coffee? I provided him some value, I sent him a link. He's probably already seen the link, he probably doesn't care about the link, but it's the gesture. Oh, something about Brexit, maybe that does affect it. Or even if it doesn't affect them at all, he'll reply, no, we've got all that handled actually, thanks. Yeah, Andrew, it'd be good to see you. That's a perfect example of how I'm adding value. It's not just a matter of, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, can I talk to you? Hey, can I talk to you? No one wants that, because if you keep doing that, hey, can I talk to you? You're not adding any value at any point. You become annoying. Important people are busy. So you have to add some value in your correspondence with them. They're extremely busy people. So that's a little example of what you'll do. So I guarantee you sitting here right now, if I were to tell you to make a list of the 5 richest people you know, you probably know 5 people who are quite well off. You probably know a few millionaires. But how often do you interact with them? And when you interact with them, do you provide them any value in your interactions? Because if you start to do that, they're going to start to like you more. And they're certainly going to start to trust you more. And it's going to display competence. And let's take a completely random example. Let's say you know a baker who has 6 or 7 bakery shops. And he's making some good money in 6 or 7 bakery shops, whatever. And you send him an article on the cake that won the cake of the year. There's all this shit off the top of my head. Say, hey man, you think you could, hey, I just saw this. Do you think you could even bake something like this? You should won cake of the year. It was really good promotion for them. Maybe you should do something like this, and just send it to them straight away. When they reply to you, oh yeah, and they're gonna sit there and think, oh, this dude's thinking about producing business for me. This guy's thinking about raising my profile. He's asking questions. He's doing things. He's giving me some value. He's giving me some ideas. So then, let's say that bakery company decides it wants to up its marketing. You're gonna cross their mind. Oh, well, that dude, he emailed me about replicating cake of the year or trying to enter cake of the year. That guy, yeah, we want a marketing strategy. And he's been emailing me on and off every couple of months, not annoying me, every couple of months for like 6, 7 months now. He had a few good ideas. Let's bring him in for a meeting. Bam! So you've gone from knowing a baker to now going and sitting in a meeting with a baker. And that baker's looking to make more money. And you can sit there and go, I can guarantee you I'll double your money. I guarantee you I'll double your money. As long as I get X amount of money, or I get a company car, or I get this percent, whatever, I'm guaranteeing you I will double your money. That's how networking's done. It's not about knowing the baker. It's about building a relationship with that baker of value so that they trust you and that they like you and that you prove yourself competent. This is the same with everything. Most people go through life never proving themselves competent at anything. And I mean this. When I meet people, I'm never late. I'm early. Of course, you have to be early. I make sure I pay, like I've said before, I make sure I pay for the bill. I make sure I don't look tired. I make sure I never complain about my problems. Hey Tate, how are you? Yeah, I'm really good. Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, the traffic was a mess. Dude doesn't give a fuck. Guy doesn't care. Oh, I'm tired. I was out last night. Yeah, I'm really good. Because people want positivity in their lives. If you're really good, they want to be really good. Why are you really good? Maybe they want to know more about you. This person is really good. Well, I want to be really good. What they say good? What they say good for? You have to display competence, and you have to display the attributes that people want to connect with. And these are always positive attributes. You know what they are. Not just about being rich. It's about being a positive person, living a happy life. These are things that have to appear effortless. When you go and you sit down at a table and you're happy and you're smiling and you're positive and you have this aura of competence about you, you're going to have people who want to do business with you. And the baker example is a perfect example, because I guarantee you all know people right now. Let's say you work a normal job. You work a normal job. Let's say you're a fucking truck driver. You know your boss. You know the boss of the trucking company. There's nothing. He's worth a shitload of money. What's stopping you? Googling up a whole bunch of stuff about trucking, or Googling up the biggest trucking companies in the world, how they advertise, or Googling what they do, and just emailing him saying, hey, I was reading this last night. You might find this interesting. And building a closer relationship with your boss, or the richest person you know. Nothing's stopping you doing that. You need to build value. They need to believe you're competent, and need to learn to trust you. So, action list. Make a list of the most important people or most rich people you know. Start finding a way to provide them value without annoying them. get some money together so that you can be at the right place at the right time. That's the beginning. Next, a lot of people are only interested in networking up, whereas you can do a lot of networking down. There's a whole bunch of people out there looking for a chance, and if you network that way correctly, you can also do very, very well. I've said this loads of times. People say to me, how do I get rich? And I say, find someone who will pay you $10 to do a job, and find someone who will do it for $9. Because that way, you de-link your time to your money. Time is finite. You only have a certain amount of hours in the day. Money is infinite, effectively. So if you find a way to make money without it requiring your time, then you can scale it infinitely. There's no reason why you can't scale it infinitely. So if you know a whole bunch of people who are looking for money or looking for a job or looking for a break, what you have to do is you have to vet them, make sure they're competent, and that's what I mean by networking down. So everything I've just told you about networking up, you have to reverse and do it the other way around. So you may have a younger brother, you may have some kids in college, you may know this guy, you may know a dude who works in fucking, I was about to say Blockbusters. Blockbusters. He's the only guy I saw at Blockbusters, down there. Works in Blockbusters, and he wants a chance. Someone ever goes to you, let's say you're driving a half-nice car or something, and say, oh, they know you make money online. Well, how do you make money online? Say, oh yeah, well, you know, I've got a few things, I've got this business going. Maybe we could work together sometime, but, and then you have to get them to validate themselves. You have to say, yeah, maybe we can work together sometime. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this course? Or have you heard about this kind of marketing? Or if you're looking for drop shipping? Yeah, send me an email about it. And see how much they apply themselves. And what you're gonna find out is, maybe 9 out of 10 are time wasters, but you're gonna have the one guy who really wants it. And now you have someone who's prepared to basically work for free in many cases. Work for free in many cases just to have a chance at life. And that's the kind of thing that can be valuable. Networking up is fantastic, but networking down is just as good. I knew a guy who said you need friends in high places and you need friends in low places. And he was absolutely correct. We could go through, in his town, we go through any McDonald's drive-thru was free. Go to any liquor store, the vodka was free. He knew everyone at the low places, and he knew the mayor of the town. So having people in low places is just as important as high places. So you're sitting here trying to make a list of all the people you know who are important. You now have an action list. You have to provide those guys value. Fine. But you also have a whole bunch of people looking for a chance. And if you're higher value than them, you're the value. Now you're the prize. You got to find a way to motivate them to work for you. And this is one of the biggest keys to networking. Because if you do this effectively, then you're going to be more and more. You're going to push yourself higher up the ladder. You can find a whole bunch of college students. Let's say you have, I'll give you an example. You can go on Fiverr right now. You could invent a graphic design company. I own a graphic design company. You can make a website. You can lie on the website and say you turn over millions of dollars. You can go to a graphic design college or know some kids who do graphic design. You can go to them and say you're going to give them all interviews, they've designed 3 logos. You can go on Fiverr and say you design logos for $50 each. And when people pay you $50, you'll get them to do it for free. And you can. That's just a very basic idea, but it's a very basic example of how you can network lower by just feigning. When I say feigning competence, it's not even feigning competence. You're competent enough to make a website. You're competent enough to get the jobs on Fiverr. So by just being competent and just coming across as a more higher value person, you can network down and get people lower than you to do work for you. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because if the people below you prove themselves to be especially competent and prove themselves to do a very good job, then you're going to elevate them. If you have one guy who does fantastic logos, he does them in 20 minutes, he gets them straight across to you, and he's ready to work like a dog, well then you're going to have a real company, aren't you? Because you're going to hire him. Say, okay, you're the guy. I'm going to use you all the time. I'm going to put more ads on Fiverr and get more jobs. You're going to do them all. I'll give you X amount of money per logo. I'll keep the rest, bang, done. So networking down is a fantastic thing. It doesn't make you a bad person, because if you find someone of competence, you're going to elevate them. And that elevates you. You now own a graphic design company. You didn't own shit. Now you own a graphic design company. Now you can be emailing all the 5 important people I told you on your list, the 5 important ones, and you can be saying, hey, just looked at your logo. Yeah, it's really good, but I've got this graphic design company, and I just had my guys have a look. Here's a few proofs. I don't know if you'd be interested. Something to think about. Let's catch up soon with that. Send a couple free logos to an important person. Let them sit there and go, that's interesting. So you've networked down, and now you're providing value to people higher than you. The whole thing about networking is providing value. Walking around in a suit and handing out your business card and saying your name isn't providing value to anybody. You need to provide value, and if you can't do that, you need to at least promise to provide value. And if you promise to provide value, it has to be a genuine promise. Because the world's full of promises nowadays, and the world's full of lies. So if I was an accountant, and I was doing a networking event, everyone I introduced myself to, I would give them some ridiculous guarantee. I'd say, oh hi, yeah, I'm the accountant that guarantees a lower tax bill. Guarantees, yeah, I guarantee a lower tax bill. I've never had a single client who didn't lower their taxes with me, ever. And it would be so brash, you're sort of the top of the going, really? Really? Doesn't matter what company you're in, doesn't matter who you use, doesn't matter if you use PwC or Deloitte or the best accountants in the world, I guarantee you, with 1000% certainty, any of my clients, I lower their tax bill. Now, that person will probably talk to you because you haven't provided value, but you've assured them. You promised insane value. Now you have the predicament. Now you have to fulfill it. But a verbal contract isn't a contract. If this person emails you and goes, okay, lower my tax bill, and you look through his stuff and you work out you can, you say, oh, okay, we're really busy at the moment. We'll be back in touch in a couple of weeks. I'm sure we can work together. And you just never email him again. He'll forget. He ain't gonna go to court and say, I met this guy in a pub, this guy in a bar who promised to lower my tax bill, and he didn't email me back and sue you. He's not gonna take, what's gonna happen? Nothing. But at least you had the chance. Maybe you can lower his tax bill. Now you got yourself a client. So you need to be providing value, but if you're gonna promise value, which is what a lot of people try and do, but people do it like pussies. People walk around, oh hi, yeah, hi, I'm an accountant, yeah, I'm a certified accountant, yeah, I've got some big clients, and yeah, I'm sure we could take a look, there might be something we can do. What does that mean? I've already got an accountant. You're coming up to me saying you could take a look, there might be something we could do. That sounds like it's gonna take time. I have to get all my records, all my files, send them across to you, maybe we can do something. I've already got an accountant who I've been with for 5 years, who does a perfectly fine job, and now you wanna fuck around me. I'm not gonna bother. If you would've come up to me and said, I guarantee you, Andrew, you're paying too much tax, you're getting ripped off. With me, I guarantee you I'll lower it by minimum 10%, minimum. Now, I'm gonna talk to you. That's how networking's done. I'm certainly gonna talk to you. Now, if I send you all my files and you look through it all and you realize that my accountant's actually fantastic and you can't lower my tax bill at all, then you just blag it off. Blag is an English word for you Americans. Blag means just like, blag it off. Okay, yeah, fantastic, having a look here. I'll be back in touch in a few weeks. And you know what's gonna happen, because I'm a busy guy and I've already got an accountant and I probably forgot about it in a few weeks, I'm not even gonna chase you. And if I do chase you, hey, so there's anything we can do? Yeah, but we'll have to do it at the beginning of the next financial year. I'll be in touch a couple weeks in advance. Take care. Just blag it off, delay it. I'll forget, you'll move on, no one's going to court, nothing bad happened. At least you had a chance to get my business. You had a chance to look through my accounts. If you would have come up to me and said, oh hi, yeah, maybe we can do something, I'm an accredited accountant, you wouldn't have even got that far. So you gotta either provide value or promise value. And this is the mistake that people make with networking. You have to promise value. I said to Idris, with me you'll win. He goes, oh really? I said, no, with me you're guaranteed to win. So if you get other people, I don't know, but with me, you're absolutely guaranteed to win. Yeah, there's a lot of good fighters out there, but I know how it was as an amateur. I know the mistakes you're gonna be making. I know the mistakes he's gonna make. With me, Idris, with me, you are guaranteed to win. And he did win. I pulled it off. But if I didn't say that, I wouldn't have got the chance. Now imagine he lost. What's he gonna do? He's gonna sue me? You don't knock out, bro. You can't sue me. It's not my fault. You should block me. I told you to block that punch. You didn't listen. I gave you the right instructions. You didn't enact them correctly. That's not my fault. But I networked myself to the top with guarantees. So you either need to show value, which is a guarantee because it's something you've already done, or you need to promise insane value. And this is the mistake people make with networking. When someone comes to me, and because I get this all the time, I get emails all the time from people saying, I'm gonna make you more money, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, blah, 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 pay me up front. I don't wanna hear that shit. I'm gonna say, no, okay, do it. If you come to me and say, Tate, I'm gonna sell 10 of your courses. Okay? I'm gonna sell 10 of your courses. If I sell 10 of your courses, can we Skype and talk business? Yeah, all right. And then just say, okay, every one of my courses I sell, the reference is gonna be this. And I get 10 course sales, and in the box it says this person's name. Then I'm gonna be like, all right, let's Skype. What the fuck does this do? That's providing value. If you're gonna promise me you're gonna sell shitloads of my courses, you better come at me with some convincing shit. Come at me and go, well, maybe we could try. Maybe this could. Have you thought of? Not interested. I've thought of it all. Yeah, I could try, blah, blah. No, you have to come at me with pow. Now, I know all of you watching this are probably gonna try that exact thing. It's a bad idea because I'm a hard guy to sell to. But to other people, that's what people want. Especially important people who are running businesses and making money. You need to either show them you can make them money, or you need to promise them insanely you can make them money. But here's what's gonna happen. The smart people, you'll get the odd idiot who will agree and pay you up front. Most smart people will want to see some work first. Promise the value, and then they'll say, okay, now show me the value. And then I'll give you what you want. That's what's gonna happen. And this is where the competence comes in. But isn't it better to be talking to millionaires and then replying to your emails and them going, okay, we're gonna give you a chance, and then you might be able to pull off a miracle? Isn't that better than them never emailing you at all? This is the key to networking. I promised Idris he'd never lose, and he didn't lose. It worked out for me. It could have not worked out for me. But isn't it better that I promised him and took the chance than never took the chance at all? So, the bakery example. You want to start emailing that baker and saying, you could sell double the cakes. I guarantee you I can sell double your cakes. And he'll go, if he's smart, he'll go, okay, do it then. And then you're going to sit there and go, fuck, how do I sell double the cakes? But at least you have a chance. Now you have a chance. Imagine you pull off double cakes for fucking 2 days. Imagine you get some hot chick to stand outside with a tray. She's your girlfriend, so she's free, with a cake, and you've given her a little bit of a script, and she convinces people that these cakes are made with some special flour or some bullshit, and doubles the cake sales. When you go back in there now and say, okay, that's just the beginning. of what I can do. I can triple this. I can quadruple that. I want X amount of money. Now you're going to be having serious conversations. And that's what networking is. Show value or absolutely promise value. Stroke people's egos and have enough cash to be in the right place at the right time. The guy who owns that bakery, he might own bakeries all over the world. He might say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in talking to you. Come to our head office in Singapore. Now what are you going to do? Oh, sorry, I can't afford the ticket. Like a dick. If you're so good at selling things and doubling people's turnovers, you've got to be able to afford the ticket. You have to. So money is absolutely an element. But the key to networking is you have to come across as super high value. Another great thing about this is also how you get referrals. If you start doing good jobs for people, and you do a good job, and you prove yourself trustworthy, or even if you're at least promising to do a good job, and people see this, then they're going to be the ones who refer you, because it raises their status. So I'm the bakery owner. I own the bakery. You've come to me and promised to double my sales. You've managed to pull it off. I'm out with my other friend who owns a fucking car wash, and we're sitting there having beers, and I'm talking about this person. And now I get to say, you know what? I could double your turnover of your car washes. And the guy goes, can you? He goes, yeah, I know a guy, and this guy can double your car wash turnover. Now I get to look cool for recommending you. So remember I was talking earlier about motivators. Now I am motivated to recommend you because it raises my status with the car wash guy. Even if he's a good friend, I won't ask him for money. If he's not a good friend, I might say, I'll raise it and give me this amount. If I'm a particularly savvy motherfucker, I'll say, I want to double your car wash turnover. You give me 20%. I'll send in a guy who works for me, who's really good. They could do it for money. But in general, people don't even work that way. People just like to feel important, especially important people. The head of the bakery is going to sit there and say to the car wash guy, you know what, you've got some good car washes, you're washing some cars, but you could be making a lot more money. I know a guy who would help you make a lot more money. Yeah, he works for me. I found him, I trained him. He'll lie, but he's really good. And you know what, I'm thinking maybe you should talk to him. Because now the car wash guy thinks the bakery guy's a hero. Oh wow, okay. So the bakery guy's motivation for recommending you is raising his status. And this is the motivator for most people. This is how networking's done. You do a fantastic job for one person, they want to share your business. They want to tell others. If someone came along to me and did a fantastic job, I'd want to tell other people. I do this all the time. The people who wrapped my Lamborghini, for example, they did a fucking amazing job. Cheap, quick, beautiful, rainbow wrap, psychedelic, looks amazing. I'm happy to tell everyone, where'd you get that done? Oh, I got it done here, they're really good. That's human nature. So you either have to be providing insane value or promising insane value. A lot of the people you network with, especially at a lower level, they're gonna want things from you. And because mutual relationships, we all understand what mutual relationships are and how they work, people are gonna want things from you. So I know that 99% of the emails I get are people who want things from me. Nobody's trying to give me nothing. No one's emailing me going, hey Tate, you want a Ferrari? Everyone's like, oh hi, do you want to invest in? They want money. Do you have the time to help me with? They want my knowledge, expertise, and connections. They want me to fucking network. I got an email today from some dude. Hey, my girlfriend is struggling to get Schengen visa. And I know you can do these kind of things. Okay, cool. If you would have said, hi, Tate, good to see you. I know you're really well connected. I'm having a very particular problem. I'm thinking maybe you can help with it. In return, I'm thinking maybe we can make some money together. Da, da, da. Make it at least more interesting. Not just, hey, get my girlfriend a Schengen visa. I don't even know you. It's crazy. Anyway, can I get his girlfriend a Schengen visa? Yeah. But am I motivated to? No. But 99% of the time, people want things from you. And that's fine. So what you have to do is turn those wants into something mutual. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, can I use your email list? I want to promote my product. That'll happen a lot. The correct reply is, my email list you can't use, but when you build your own, I'll teach you how to monetize yours correctly. We'll work together on it. He'll go, oh, okay, thanks. He'll be happy with that reply. So what's happened? What's he gained from you? Nothing. What have you gained from him? A percent of his sales. Done. He'll come back to you and go, okay, I got my email list. Say, okay, here's how we're going to do it. I'll send emails, blah, 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 blah. X amount percent goes to me. This amount goes to you. And we're going to sell a whole bunch of products. Simple. When people come to you and they want something from you, that's a fantastic chance to change it around, to put it on its head, and allow you to take something from them. There's another key element from networking. And also, if you're particularly savvy, especially with important people, this is how smart, important people think. So you can be aware it's happening, but pretend you don't know. So it's like one of the laws of power, 48 laws of power, is never outshine the master. It's true. So if you go meet with a really important person and go, oh, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance. If you double my sales for a week, I'm going to give you a chance. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay, fantastic. And you can sit there and pretend you don't realize this dude's just about to make a bunch of money off you. Okay, great. You don't want to be too smart. If you're smarter than the dude, it's going to piss him off. I've had this a few times myself. I've had people come to me and they say this, and I say, well, let's do it this way. And they go, no, this, and this. I'm like, bro, you're the one approaching me. I've got more money than you. You're trying to do business. Don't come at me and tell me how things are. You have to be super careful with that because people's egos, an ego is more than enough to stop someone doing business with you. They'd rather lose money than damage their ego. People are in jail over their ego. Jail is full of egos. You insult someone, they shoot you in the head. That's how important a man's ego is. So you want to come along and start insulting people and go, no, this, or no, you're going to be making lots of money off of me then, what am I going to get? That's not how you network. You've got to play the fool sometimes. Yeah, great, that's a really good idea. I'm happy to do that for you, yeah. So be careful. So very often people who come to you, they want something from you. If they're lower down, you have to change that to your favor. Consciously think about how to do that. If they're higher up, they're going to try and get, when you're offering something, they're going to try and exploit you to a degree, and that's fine, because you have to prove competence. Being exploited to a comfortable degree to prove competence and make yourself likable is once again fine. Be very aware of that dynamic. Everyone is in everything for themselves. Every relationship is for themselves. You're with your girlfriend for yourself. Your love for her is nothing to do with her. It's for yourself. It's for your own sexual needs, so you're not lonely. It's completely selfish. You're with her for selfish reasons. She's with you for selfish reasons. And together you're both selfish and you both mutually benefit. The reason I talk to the bus driver is because he'll drive me and I give money to the bus, which keeps the company running that pays his wages. Mutual benefit. That's how interactions work around the world. There's no such thing as selflessness. It doesn't exist. So you have to completely understand this and understand the mutual benefits. Nobody's going to do anything with you if there's not a benefit for them. So at the beginning, if someone's really high value, sure, let them exploit you to a degree. Make sure the benefit is in their court. But once you've proved competence, that can change quickly. Once you've proved yourself to be competent, then they're going to want you. Then things change. If you're the dude who doubled sales, they're going to want you around. Absolutely going to want you around. I prefer to stay in touch with my important people around me. I don't really like to use LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a professional platform and that means that relationships are professional. That's fine for your professional relationships, but for your genuine networking referrals, it's all about status and whether they like you or not. The money one, money, maybe LinkedIn. But in general, if you only speak to someone through LinkedIn, are they really gonna be like, this guy's great? They're gonna be like, oh, there's a guy on my LinkedIn, maybe. So it's very clinical. It's kind of like Tinder, you know, like the girl, you may want to bang her, but do you like her? You don't know her. So it's very clinical. So I don't even have a LinkedIn page. I don't even have one. I don't really use it for networking. And also, if someone's super important, are they really on LinkedIn? Like, I mean, you're gonna meet some mid-level dudes on LinkedIn. But if there's a multi-millionaire who has his own company, he has a coconut business in Greece, and he has all these boats, he's making millions and millions, he's fucking all these models, he has private jets, is he really gonna go, oh, let me just quickly log into LinkedIn, and oh, I got an email from Mr. Random. Yeah, hi. I mean, that's my experience with LinkedIn. But yeah, that's fine. I use email. Try and get people's email addresses. Try and have an interesting business card like mine. Don't copy it. And like I said, provide value every couple of months. Don't flood them. Don't annoy them. People are busy. Next is protecting yourself from networking. So what a lot of you are going to be thinking after watching this is, well, how do I make sure I don't get exploited? How do I know that the baker is not going to see my ideas I did to double sales, take the ideas, and tell me to fuck off? And that is a genuine, very real risk. And to be honest with you, that risk is very hard to negate. You negate that primarily through making the dude like you. And this is my completely honest experience because I've been screwed this way exactly the same. If I've done work for someone and it's been work and I've done a really good job, and at the end of it I said, look, I want some money, X, Y, Z, and they don't particularly like me as a person, they are far more likely to disappear than if they go, you know what, this guy's all right. And I know this sounds like shit advice, but it's the absolute truth. This is why I do business without contracts. Because if you need a contract with someone to try and stop them screwing you, they're gonna screw you. If you need a piece of paper and a court to try and stop someone from screwing you over, they're gonna do it eventually anyway. And you're gonna waste a whole bunch of time in court with lawyers, and even if you win the case, they're gonna claim bankruptcy. Claim bankruptcy and it's all over. The way it works is you have to make people like you. You have friendships with people, and people don't want to fuck over their friends because everyone has a conscience. There's very few people out there who are truly sociopathic enough that they're going to screw over somebody who they like for a few dollars. I wouldn't do that. People who I know who could easily do that would never do that to me. Because if you like people, there's a few people on the planet you like, and there's a whole bunch of people you don't like. So you don't want to really fuck up the relationships with the people you do like from it, especially if you're making good. It's very rare. So let's say the bakery example. If you were to do that for 5 people, one person's gonna screw you over. But you just have to eat that loss. There's no other way to do it. But the other 4 will probably give you some kind of recuperation for your efforts. And on top of that, especially if you haven't worked a show. So the bakery example is perfect because you can say, okay, I doubled your cake sales, but I've shown you nothing yet. I know X, I know this, I know that, even if you don't know it. Just say, you've seen a taste of what I can do. Well, now they definitely want to do business with you because they've seen your efforts and you've validated yourself and you're saying you know a whole bunch more, and they're going to continue to work with you. So if you're worried about safeguarding yourself, you're worried about being exploited, I wouldn't worry about that. Worry about getting the opportunities. More opportunities you have, the better. It may take 3 or 4 opportunities for one to pay off, but one will eventually pay off. It's better to have tried at something, had an opportunity and fuck it up, or tried at something, had an opportunity, did a fantastic job, and then that person screwed you over, than never had the opportunity at all. That's my genuine view. Because I've been screwed over, I've been robbed for money, I've been through all that shit that's happened to everyone else. But it never deterred me from making relationships and trying to get to high value places and do high value work for high ticket numbers, because sometimes they pay off. So you can't be too worried about it. And this is what happens when I was saying earlier about people who are arrogant and insults people's egos. I've had people email me going, Tate, your email strategy is shit. And they're right. I agree, my email strategy probably is a bit shit. It's disconjointed. You need to do this, 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 and this, and this. If you do this, you'll sell this thing tomorrow. I say, okay, let's do it. $10,000 a month. I say, I'm not going to pay you $10,000. You haven't even done it yet. Yeah, but how do I know I'm not going to implement it and you're going to rob me? Well, you don't know that. But it would have been better for them to have implemented it, start making me a whole bunch of money. And then there's 2 things that can happen. I'm either going to run off with the ideas and skank them, and they're not going to get any money. And then my reputation will be soured, and they're going to go all over Twitter and all over everywhere and say I'm a bad person. Or I'm going to say, you know what, I'm making so much money from this person now, and they want this big. I'm making 20 a month that I wasn't making before. They want 10. Okay, cool. There's 2 choices. Now, if you obviously you want them to pay. Most people are protective of their reputations. Most people aren't that sociopathic. And thirdly, if I actually kind of liked that guy, I wouldn't have done it. So let me give you an example. Let's say he agreed to do the work first. Let's say he started doing the work. I never really heard from him. We just did the work, and I sold products. And in the end, he goes, "Okay, where's my money?" That's fine. If he did the work and he sent me an email, "Hey man, I'm up really late, but I've got this idea and this idea. Also, after this 1 week trial, we can do this and this. I'm really excited about our partnership." Bang. Email me that, or something else, and something else to make himself more humanized. Then when it comes to paying, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, he's told me there's more ideas. He was up working really late that night. I'm not gonna fuck this dude over. I'm not that guy. So that's a key element to it. And that's the same with all networking, is being likable, likability. And I can't teach you personality. I can't teach you how to be likable. But coming across as human and making it clear how much work you're doing for someone, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that if you're doing it in a positive light. Don't complain. Don't be like, oh, I have to work so hard. Because then you'll be like, well, fucking don't then. But if you do it in a very positive light, look, I really believe we can do X, Y, Z, we're going to take over the world, blah, blah, blah. You're going to do fantastic. One of my last time I had a job was about 7 years ago. And after, I can tell you the story, I went to a meeting to sell a website. Our market rate was £1,500 for the website. I tried to sell it for $3,000. And I did that because I'm a risk taker. And everyone told me, all the salesmen in the company said, oh, that's too much, he's not going to buy it. And I said, well, I believe that we can sell our websites for $1,000. Okay, whatever, and the guy bought me. Within a week, I was giving a presentation to the other salesmen because the fucking managing director couldn't believe I'd sold this for double. Sold it for double, and after I sold it, I sent an email to the managing director saying, hey, I know I'm new, I know you don't know me, I've just pulled off this sale for double. I want to sell all the products for double. Is that okay? He's going to say, fucking no. I just pulled off. He's going to say, yeah, that's fine. Why do you believe that? And I gave my reasons. I said, there's only so many people in the world who want a website. If they don't need a website, they're not going to buy one. If they do need one, and they're susceptible, we need to get as much money as possible from them. That's how we're going to increase the turnover of this business. And I believe that if we do a few things to add some value, small things, another meeting halfway through the website being made, a few more updates, fancier PDF updates, small things, that I believe we can really increase our value, and that means we really increase our prices, even though we provide the same product. And I sent this back and forth to the managing director one Monday night, and on Wednesday I was giving a presentation to all the salesmen in the Now the best thing about the story is, at the same time I was working this business, I had my own business selling websites. So I was stealing customers from this company and doing it myself with my friend. But what great was, after I did this and I sold 2 or 3 more at double the price, I had so much leniency in that business that even when for like 1 month or 1 month and a half at the end when I sold nothing because I was planning to leave, no one questioned me. I was the genius, I was the guru. I pulled it off and I just sold all the business things to myself, kept on. But that's an example. But that's a short story. If you want people to like you, that's a short story. If you want to make sure you don't get ripped off, make sure people like you. Trying to get contracts involved, trying to get legality involved, all that shit is not the way to go. Make people like you, make people respect the work you do for them, and be a nice person, and no one's really out to screw you. Someone might screw you. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying it's still better to take those chances than to not take the chances at all. Now, all of you watching this know people right now who you could contact and make money with. I don't say make money from, I make money with. You make them more money, you get a percentage. All of you know people, but you're just sitting there going, well, how do I do it? How do I approach it? Because if I email this person or I say to this person, I want to make more money, they might think I'm an idiot. Well, maybe. Well, what are you worried about? What's the worst they can say? No. Who cares? Promise them something insane, and then find a way to deliver. Finding a way to deliver is the key. I'm going to finish this first video off because we've got 2 more videos coming from this course. But my business card, which I think a lot of you have seen, if not a bit here. My business card is a perfect example of this. And people always laugh when they see my business card because they think it's a joke. But it's 0% a joke. Maybe we should put a picture in what my card is. It's my card. And it says on the back, I specialize in the following: wars fought, assassinations plotted, uprisings quelled, whiskey merchant, helicopter hire, all this stuff. And people laugh and go, oh, you don't do those things. Wrong. I do those things. Because I'm a promiser. I will promise you these things. And if I believe that it's worth my while, I will pull it off. If NASA come to me and say, put a probe on the moon, I ain't got a fucking clue how to put a probe on the moon. But if I believe if I do that, I'm going to get X amount of dollars, 10 billion. Or if I believe it's worth my while, or I believe it's going to save my life, or it's going to give me superpowers, whatever. If I'm motivated to do it, I will do it. I don't give a shit what I have to do. I don't care if I have to go and learn how to do it myself. I don't care if I have to hire someone else to do it. I don't care if I have to go to the Chinese and defect and get them to do it. I don't know what I'll do, but I will get it done. And that is the key to networking in most spheres. Promising the impossible, finding a way to pull it off when you have the opportunity, and doing so in a way that makes you come across likable, come across as someone people want to work with, building up competence and value, and then that's going to spread, and it's going to spread. Another example, I'll tell you the best example of where this has happened for me personally is with girls. This has happened for me. I could talk about all the all the high value people I could but the thing that illustrates my point the best is with girls. Whenever I'm with people, and they see me go up to a girl, I get a girl, or I turn up with hot girls, or there's always hot girls around me, people think, I want to bring these people, I want to introduce this person to other people because he's the guy, he's the one who raises the status, he's the guy who can do this, he's the guy, and that's networking all over, just purely because I've displayed competence, or I promised things. If people have seen me turn up with 2 super hot girls, and then I turn up again on my own, and next time I say, oh yeah, I can get us unlimited chicks, yeah, we can go get chicks, any club in this town will go get girls, any. They're like, wow, this guy, I've shown value and I'm promising value. If you do one of those 2 things, they want to invite you. So then next time those 2 dudes go out, especially if those dudes are millionaires and they're going to a club, or they're going to Miami or a different town, they're going to start inviting me. I've had that happen. I've had guys go to me, oh, we're going to Miami, you want to come? I'm busy. Oh, we'll pay your flight, bro. Because they're sitting there thinking, this dude gets pussy. I have something they want. I can provide, I've shown value and I've shown competence, or I've promised value or competence. Before you know it, you're getting invites. Before you know it, you're networking. Before you know it, people want to introduce you to other people. That's all networking is, whether it's money, whether it's girls, whether it's anything else. Come across as competent, either get people richer, make people like you, or raise their status for them introducing you, and you're going to find yourself with a lot of friends very quickly. And then you need to be selective about who's worth your time and who isn't. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with networking down, but that person you're networking down with has to be motivated. There's a whole bunch of time wasters, especially people at the bottom. People at the bottom, most of them are there because they're lazy. If people were motivated, they wouldn't be at the bottom. But there are a few gems you can find. But those are the basic elements to networking. Watch this video over and over again. We've got 2 more videos coming.